Hey ladies and Freedom Talks, my name is Lisa Dilday. I am a child of the King of Kings and a true believer that He is not only my Savior, but my Lord. I want to talk tonight about the lady at the well, the Samaritan woman. Have you ever thought how broken she was? I mean, we are all broken, right? That is why we came here to get healing. I know that when I was broken and thought no one would want me anymore, you see, I was that lady. I was the woman in so more ways than just one. But first, what does broken mean? Cambridge Dictionary says that it is an adjective that means discouraged, extremely sad. Another definition is physically inforcible, separated into pieces, or cracked or split. The synonyms is failed, ruined, wrecked, unsuccessful. How many times have we all felt like that? That we were ruined and a wreck, or that we were unsuccessful in everything we did. I know I felt like that many, many times. In John 4:5-24, in this story, Jesus has sent his disciples to town to get food, and so he sat down at Jacob's well to wait for them. Jesus knew the Pharisees had heard that he was baptizing and making more disciples than John and himself, and didn't baptize them. His disciples did. Okay. It also talks about when he was sitting at the well. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired from his long walk, sat wearily beside the well about noontime. Soon a Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Please give me a drink." Okay, if back then the Samaritans and the Jews, they did not hang out together. Okay, the Jews looked down on the Samaritans, and especially a woman. And okay, hold on 1 minute. They did not get along, and also that usually women drew water in the early morning or later in the evenings, and usually there was a group of them instead of just one when it was high noon or so. So she was shunned from the others in the village. So you can just imagine how broken she was. She was already a person that she didn't have any friends. Okay, of course the woman said that how he, a Jew, asked her, a Samaritan, to give him a drink. I bet she even had a little sass to her remark. Jesus came back though and said in verse 10, "If only you knew who was asking, you would ask him instead and never thirst no more." I could see her with an attitude like we all get when we are just fed up and really do not care anymore, telling him that the well is deep and he doesn't even have anything to draw with. You know, but more importantly, where can you get this living water? And is he greater than Jacob, their father? So Jesus, though, with so much love and compassion, tells her that his is eternal life. She wants to believe and says back to give her this water so she would never have to draw water again. That is when he tells her to go to get her husband and come back. When she tells him this, that she has no husband, he looks at her and says, "No, you don't have. You've had 5 husbands, and you're living with someone that's not your husband." He just told her everything she has done, and he saw her brokenness, her failed marriages, her wrecked life. But did he condemn her? He accepted her and loves her, and not for what she has done, but for what she is, a broken woman. There are 4 things that humans need the most. One of them is acceptance. You can go ahead and show that picture. This was me before I came in here. I was broken. In Romans 8:35-39, it says that I am loved and accepted for who I am. Most people love us based on what they don't know. God is the only one who knows your every thought and will always love you no matter what. We also need identity. Psalms 139 tells us that we are special, unique, and significant. God's planned every day of your life before you were born. He is the only one who knows why you were created. When we get to heaven, God is going to give us a white stone with our real name on it. No one else knows our real name, and that's in Revelations 2:17. We also need security. Psalms 91, I am safe and secure from harm. When you understand God's security, it doesn't matter what is going on around you because God's security is in you. And finally, the last one is purpose. I have a significant purpose, and there is a reason for my life. It's in Jeremiah 29:11-14. God's purpose for your life will fulfill the desires of your heart. He won't lead you to do something that He hasn't prepared you to do. Just like me when I left here. I wasn't prepared. I was prepared to live His life, God's life. I wasn't that girl no more. I look at that picture now and I'm like, who is that girl? They don't even look like me. And you can put another picture up if you want. There we go. Anyway, thank you. I found my purpose. I found my security. I found my identity. And I found my acceptance. I don't need no man anymore to tell me that I'm his, okay? Or that I don't need anyone to tell me that I'm a bad person because I know who I belong to. And that's all that matters to me. And the purpose is now, even though I left here, I didn't think that I had a purpose because I was kind of lost, sort of. I was a house mom for 2 months, 2 or 3 months for another ministry. And then I left there and I was going to go to Mississippi. Well, my PO wouldn't let me go to Mississippi. Mississippi didn't want this Arkansas girl, is what it was. So anyway, I stayed here in Newport. And luckily, one of my good friends, she owns an insurance business. And she let me work for her for a year. And then I got my peer specialist. And his purpose for me, though, is not only just the peer specialist. He's leading me to college. I am now intake coordinator for detox for our hospital here in Newport. And I've been there since April. So, and I have never really had a job. So, that's, to me, that means a lot, even though it's not quite yet a year. So yeah. So the Samaritan woman, she transferred all her expectations and stuff to the men that was in her life. She was trying to fill up that hole instead of filling it up the right way. I have filled up that hole the right way this time. That's one reason that me and Tom, we decided not to get married right off the bat. We're waiting. It would be 3 years together when we get married, and that's going to be this coming October. So, yeah. And another thing, it says in the Word, which is God's love story to us. It says that you need to be evenly yoked. So you got to find, God will send somebody to you. You don't have to find nobody. Okay? All right, and anyway, it only made it broken more when you trust people, there is danger. And the principle of transference, if we don't trust Jesus to make our deepest needs, we will automatically transfer the expectations to those needs to those closest to us. So if you are close to someone and, you get all these expectations and you're like, well, you didn't do this for me, or you didn't do that. That's going to be a toxic relationship. All right? When you depend on others to meet your deepest needs, number one, you would never be fulfilled, ever. We're only human. So we're never going to be fulfilled, trying to meet your need. Number two, you will become discouraged and cynical. Number three, you will become bitter toward people and reject them for not meeting your expectations. I think I have done every one of these, and probably many of y'all have too. When you trust something or someone to meet your deepest needs, here's what happens. Your inner security is dependent upon something or someone you cannot predict or control. Number two, your ability to give is dependent upon your ability to get from others. Number three, your life is filled with an atmosphere of disappointment and frustration. Number four, your unrealistic expectations of others create a negative atmosphere of tension in your relationship. When you have a problem, where do you go first? But a lot of us, before we got here, we didn't know God, so we didn't go to God. We went to that person, or we went to the drugs, or we went to the alcohol, and we tried to find it there, and it didn't work. We all have problems, especially relationship problems, that only God can solve. God would not only heal you, but He will fill you with the fruits of the Spirit: love, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, which is Galatians 5:22 through 23. When you depend on God, He will help change all the relationships in your life, every single one of them. So how do we experience a personal relationship with Jesus? First, we remember that Jesus is a gift of grace from God. We ask Him for what we need, and we have faith in God's love and faithfulness. Brokenness does not necessarily mean experiencing some tragedy. Many people suffer tragedy without drawing closer to God. The issue of brokenness is not so much your circumstance, but your response. Like if you're broken and you turn to the drugs or alcohol instead of doing something positive, then, that's going to affect it. So you're going to have to think, when you get out of here, you're going to have to think of other ways and other avenues instead of getting angry at that person. What can you do? So God has to strip us of pride and self-sufficiency to the extent that you have no strength left to fix it yourself, so that the character of Christ can shine through. When you have no strength left to fix yourself, and He blocks every exit you take or you try to take, and you come to see that He alone is the answer, you make a life-changing discovery. When God is all you have, God is all you need. The truth is that God's power is reserved for those who have given up trying to do it on their own strength or accomplish it on their own ends. Sacrifice means something has to die on an altar. So if you want to experience a new level of God's grace, the power in your life, you must be willing to die to self-interest, ego, and independence. For a plant to rod from the soil, this thing must be broken, and then for a baby chick to experience life, the shell must be broken. For a thoroughbred horse to win, it will need to be broken and harnessed. So you have three options. 1, you can resist. 2, you can run. Or 3, you can say, yes, Lord. Like I said, I was a Samaritan woman, shunned, broken, damaged, unsuccessful, but I said, yes, Lord, and pray that each and every one of y'all do too. So this wasn't just for me, This was for other girls. I know that y'all, a lot of y'all have been broken when you come in here. And to see y'all's face just light up after months of being here, you know, it's like, well, you've seen the picture of me. And then, you know, you see me now. It's totally different when we obey God, when we give Him everything that we got. And I know that this year is hard, but out there it's harder. At least here you got food, you got warm bed, you got clean water, and you're not sleeping in the streets. Graduating this program was the best thing I ever done. Okay, this is my home away from home, and I love this program. And I'm done.